I'm Emily. Welcome to Brain Built Different, where we explore how autism, ADHD, and different ways of thinking really work. Because when you understand your brain, life starts making a lot more sense. Your brain is the most complicated object you will ever own. It contains around 86 billion nerve cells, each connected to thousands of others, and it can recognize faces, solve problems, remember birthdays, learn new skills, make jokes, imagine things that don't exist, and control every movement your body makes. Yet despite all that complexity, nobody teaches us how our own brain actually works. Most people simply grow up assuming that everyone else's brain works in roughly the same way as theirs. And that isn't true. Some people can walk into a crowded room and barely notice the background noise, while others hear every conversation. Some can change plans at the last second without thinking twice, while others find unexpected changes deeply uncomfortable. Some people become angry slowly. Others feel as though anger appears almost instantly. None of those people are broken. Their brains simply process information differently. This video is about understanding how your brain works, because understanding gives you a choice in how you react. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that someone has told you one or more of the following. You overreact. You need to calm down. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Just let it go. Or stop shouting. Perhaps you've even said something like this yourself. I knew I shouldn't have reacted like that. I don't know why I did it. Or I couldn't stop. If any of those sound familiar, you're not alone. In fact, thousands of teenagers and adults with ADHD describe exactly the same experience. That doesn't mean everyone with ADHD behaves in the same way, and it doesn't mean ADHD causes bad behavior. It simply means that the brain systems involved in controlling emotions can work differently, and understanding those systems is the purpose of this video. One of the biggest misunderstandings about ADHD and about autism is the idea that they change who you are as a person. They don't. Your brain influences how quickly you notice things, how easily you become distracted, how intensely you experience emotions, and how difficult it is to stop yourself acting on an impulse. But your brain does not decide whether you are kind, honest, funny, brave, or hardworking. Those things are built from thousands of choices that you make over many years. Your brain may make some of those choices harder than they are for other people, but it does not remove your ability to choose. And that is one of the most important ideas in this video series. Imagine two friends walking through the woods when they both suddenly hear a loud crack from behind them. The first person barely notices it, but the second person spins round instantly, heart racing, muscles tense, breathing changed. Neither of them chose that reaction. Their brains reacted automatically. The difference is what happens next. One person quickly realizes it was only a falling branch and their body settles down, while the other person's brain keeps searching for danger, so their heart keeps racing, their muscles stay tense, and their thoughts become faster. Exactly the same thing can happen during conversations. For some people, being interrupted feels like a small inconvenience. For others, it triggers a much stronger emotional response. The emotion itself is always real, but the strength of that emotion may be much greater than the situation actually requires. And understanding why that happens is one of the first steps towards changing it. Your brain has one job that is more important than any other: keeping you alive. To do that, it would rather produce 10 false alarms than miss one real danger. Imagine you were an early human living thousands of years ago and you heard something moving in the bushes. If you assumed it was the wind and you were wrong, you might become lunch. If you assumed it was a tiger and you were wrong, you'd simply have wasted a few seconds. Your brain evolved to make that second safer mistake. Scientists sometimes describe this as a better safe than sorry system. Even today, your brain constantly guesses what is happening around you. Most of the time, those guesses are correct, but sometimes they aren't. Suppose someone interrupts you. Your brain may instantly guess, they're not listening to me, they don't care what I think, or they're trying to control the conversation. Sometimes those guesses are right, but often they are not. Perhaps the other person is simply trying to help, thinks they've already understood, is in a hurry, or is just excited. Your brain cannot immediately tell the difference, so it makes its best guess, and that guess creates an emotion. The important thing to remember is this: feelings are always real, but the story your brain creates to explain those feelings is not always true. Learning to test that story instead of immediately believing it is one of the most valuable skills you will ever develop. This video series is not about making you quieter, changing your personality, or stopping you from feeling emotions. Strong emotions are not a weakness. Many of the people who change the world care deeply about things. The goal is not to feel less. The goal is to stay in control while you are feeling those emotions. Imagine driving a powerful sports car. The engine is not the problem. In fact, it's one of the best parts of the car. But even the most powerful engine needs excellent brakes, and the stronger the engine, the more important those brakes become. Your emotions are like the engine, and this video series is about building better brakes. It's not because your emotions are bad, but because the greatest freedom in life comes from being able to choose what you do next.